Hi, I'm Srikanth Pragada. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use JSON Server. JSON Server is providing you a mark API. A mark API is REST API which you can use to test your front end. Say you're creating front end, but you don't have any backend available, but you want to test your front end just to understand whether everything in the front end is working fine. For that, you need a backend, I mean, REST API. And that REST API is what is provided by JSON Server. Now, it has just very few steps, and you don't have to write any code at all. That's the beauty of JSON Server. Now, step one, you have to install JSON Server by going to command prompt. So we have to say npm install globally, that's better, and then JSON Server. So once you install that, you're ready to run JSON Server, and it needs a simple JSON file, and the JSON file looks like this. In the JSON file, which is a JSON object, we have an array with the name courses, and the array is a collection of objects like this. We create a collection of objects. Each object contains ID and whatever you want. ID is what we use to uniquely identify this object. In addition to that, you can have any number of properties. Once the server is installed, then we go and we copy this file in that folder. I already copied this in that folder, and then all that you need to do is just start it. How do you do that? So JSON server, and then you need to give that file, in my case courses.json. That's it. It's going to take the data from that, and it is saying it is watching courses.json. So whenever you make any changes to that, it will automatically reload that, and it is saying this is the URL, and if you want to get access to courses, this is the URL. Now that's all. You have an API up and running. You don't need to write any code. Now you can test this API by going to Postman. Now, if I try to make a request, because it runs at port number 3000 by default, that can be changed. You just read the documentation, you have a flag which can be used to change the default port number. Now, if I just run this from Postman, which is a tool to test your REST API, and I'm going to make a request for this, and when I make a request, it is going to get you the data. So there you are. This is how you get. So you have a complete API. It's not just about getting the data. You can add a new course if you want. You just need to make a post request using Postman. So here is the post method, the same URL. Go to body. I want to select this body here. We have to select the body, and then we need to select JSON. So body, and then raw, and then JSON. Those are the options you have to select. And then you are going to give the data about a new course, and you have to give ID and title. If you don't give ID, it will auto generate ID. Now go ahead and click on send. It's going to create a new course. So it will put this at the end of existing data. In fact, you can go there, it automatically updates our courses.json. That's it. This is as simple as this. And you can even get a single course if you want. And if you know what is a front end and back end, The backend, the REST API is expected to support all this. So I'm interested in course one. I just give the URL along with the course ID. Now go ahead, run. It's a get request. You should get that single course. But if you give a course ID which is not present, just like in the REST API, it's going to return for not for. So in addition to this, you can do a lot more things. You can sort by the title. You can deal with pagination. You can delete. You can update. You can do almost anything that any normal REST API is providing. For more information, please go to their documentation, and here you have information about what are the different routes available and then what parameters are supported by these URLs. You can get all the details here. So this is a simple JSON server, but very useful if you are planning to test your front end without you having a backend. You can test your front end with JSON server. It's known as fake API. That means it's not real, but it's good enough to test your front end. So hope you liked it. Hope you use it when you need it and go through the documentation to get more details. That's all for now. Keep learning, keep growing.